What's up, mortgage coach community? Dave Savage here. This is my first interview in 2 weeks. I was in La Jolla last week with my family, and can't think of a better first interview back in the saddle than my brother, Dave Gallegos. What's up, Dave?
What's up, big guy?
So I want to have a conversation publicly with Dave and how he's fast tracking the training and the success of new loan officers, because he's always done a great job of that. Some of the loan officers that he's brought into the industry, this is their first exposure to the mortgage industry, have gone to become some of the best loan officers in America. Your daughter, how many loans is she closing on average nowadays?
Jacqueline's running about, she was just right at 200 deals last year, with 3 months off for maternity leave. So she, 200, about a couple hundred deals last year.
And then what about Giuseppe?
600, 605 deals last year. Chris Hauber was a 300. Chris Hauber was 300 last year. Casey Clement was 100 deals last year, his second full calendar year in the business.
So, and guys, the most impressive numbers of all is that they are among the highest customer satisfaction scores in the entire social survey network. 2 of the past 3 years, Giuseppe has been number 1. And he seems like he's always one of the top 10. And we're talking out of like over 20,000 loan officers, customer satisfaction. And then for me as Mr. Mortgage Coach, they're all red belts. They've all done over 1,000 total cost analysis. So they're well-trained, advice-based, awesome mortgage professionals that are closing over 100 loans a year. So Dave, let's break down. You and I have been talking offline because you reached out to me probably 6 months ago and you said, Dave, is it realistic for a brand new loan officer to become a black belt in their first year? And I said, absolutely. Do you still think that's a realistic goal that someone can become in their first year?
I think it's certainly possible. It's aggressive for sure. And what I've done now is peeled it back to a 15-month goal. So it's 20 a month. The goal is 20 total cost analysis a month. And for, every single month, and your 15th month, you're at 300 total cost analysis. So that's your black belt.
So first of all, I love that, guys. And I'm going to unpack all of Dave's, not just Mortgage Coach, but I want to start with Mortgage Coach, because when you can get a loan officer delivering a total cost analysis, maybe not the first month, maybe not the second month, we're going to find out when Dave introduces that. But when you get them delivering that, they learn the mortgage business faster. They learn how to be strategists faster. Dave, when are you starting the total cost analysis training with your new loan officers?
Before they start selling, before they start talking to customers. It's so we have as and I know you're Casey Cunningham Zinix fan as I am, and we have a partnership with Zinix, who I think is the best training platform on the market. And so for new people, it's the best. And so we have people going through the originator program and our systems training during their first 60 days. At the end of 60 days, they start the selling part of their training. And I've had them build a list of 300 people that they're going to contact leading up to day 1 of selling, which is day 61 of their employment. And so, but during the second 30 days of their training is when we introduce Mortgage Coach, and we start teaching them how they go through their Mortgage Coach, Mortgage Coach University training, the stuff that you have, some of the best training on the market as well. And so they're ready to start delivering total cost analysis as soon as they get on the phone and start talking to people in their sphere of influence. So our goal with them is like, well, these people personally, pick up the phone, call them. If they already have a mortgage, ask them, like, hey, will you do me a favor? I have to prepare these reports as part of my training. I'm new in the business, but I just finished, 320 hours of training, and now I'm beginning to contact people. And will you send me your mortgage statement so I can build a report and send it back to you? And so, that's the beginning of, well, why, and who wouldn't help you do that, right? Like if you've got somebody who you're close to, that's going to just send you more. It doesn't matter how long ago they refinance. So my goal is to get them building those, because you and I both know the sooner they get confidence in delivering total cost analysis is the better, because then they're going to want, and they get such a positive response and feedback. I've had some of the responses that I've gotten from brand new loan officers is like, man, people love that report. I was like, well, yeah, that's why I want you to do it. Plus, like you said, you mentioned earlier, loan officers are they learn the mortgage business faster, in my opinion, because they're just analyzing transactions over and over again. If it's going to take you, it's going to take you, 3 months to do 5 total cost analysis, you're never even going to embrace it. So that's why the goal is 20 a month, 15 months. I've actually incented them financially as well to do that, so that there's a little bit of a kicker in it for them if they produce 20 total cost analysis in a month. But it's just, the same thing that I said to you when I first started using it back in 2001 was, oh my God, this is amazing. So same thing, they get the same response. It's still the same response with a much better platform, by the way.
So let's unpack a few things, and let's also try to come out of this with a checklist. So if you're watching this and you're a new loan officer, you're going to have a checklist for yourself. If you're a trainer of new loan officers, or you're a regional and you have new loan officers that are coming in, you're gonna get some of the ideas from Dave Gallegos. So by the way, Renee Rodriguez just chimed in our live feed and said Dave is one of the best mortgage leaders in the country. So that's
Nice.
pretty big words from a respected leader. And you've been through his Amplify program a few times, haven't you?
That's correct. Twice.
So good training.
Some of the best. It's
right.
Probably the most challenging and rewarding training platform that I've done in the last, and I've done so many good things over the years. So it's hard to say like, oh, well, that's the best. Oh, well, that's the best. But it's like easily one of the best. And I'd highly recommend it to anybody that's considering. If you haven't done Amplify, you should do Amplify.
All right. So now new loan officer, Xenix is how you're training your new loan officers. Check that off the box. I've interviewed Casey multiple times. We've got a new loan officer playlist in the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel. I'll show that in a minute. And Casey's interview is one of the first 4. I did open up the new loan officer training list with Simon Sinek, and just Simon's advice for new loan officers, because I think it's so important as you get into the mortgage business that you get clear on your mortgage why. And it goes beyond making $10,000 a month. It goes beyond closing 100 loans. Like, you really get into a personal connection that, hey man, you're helping drive home ownership in America. And you put that in your words. If you're a millennial, you might look at that differently than myself or other people, but you get your why. So Xenix, you're somewhere after the 30th day, you're starting Mortgage Coach training.
Correct.
By the 60th day, they've built a list of 300 names, which I think is ambitious. Usually I've always said 100. So I like that 300.
Well, they got to send me a list of 150 names before their actual first day of work. And then they add 150 to it over that 60 days. Because we all know everybody that's been in the business in our space, in this, self-sourcing loan officer space, knows that your sphere is everything. So those are the people, that's where your business comes from. And
so that's another checklist and a qualifier.
Yeah.
When hiring them, like, they're not on the team until they're like, here's 150 people that I'm willing to call and tell I'm a loan officer.
Right.
By the end of the 30th day, it's up to 300. They're training for Mortgage Coach. And then I hope everybody did not miss that scripting that he gave, where when you're calling the list, you're not just saying, hey, I'm a loan officer. You know anybody looking for mortgages?
Yeah,
you're calling up and saying, hey, I'm new. And if you are calling someone who's a renter, you're probably saying, hey, I need to practice my rent versus own analysis. Do you mind if I practice on you? And if you're calling someone who's a homeowner, you're like, hey, I need to practice my move up analysis. Or, you're calling to tell people that love you and know you, I need to practice. And so I think that's
will you help me? Yeah. Hey,
will you help me?
Will you help me? And when you ask someone to help you, most of the time it's like, well, yeah, what? I just send me your mortgage statement. I'm going to build your report. And then, you're going to get deals. What I know is this, and this is what's happened, is that what I know is that if you're building and delivering total cost analysis to people, you're going to get deals. And that's where a new loan officer success comes from, is its confidence, because they're getting deals. You have to have some wins. And everybody that you load in there and build a total cost analysis for is a future client, right? Like, even if you don't do a deal, it's like, all right, well, now you can adopt them as your own, and just make sure you're staying in touch. And we add them to our campaigns and our follow-up campaigns and things like that. So there's a whole process. But yeah, the total cost analysis is a cornerstone of that work, because again, I know the value of it, that it delivers. It just creates so much confidence for the new loan officer, because they get such positive feedback from it.
So something else I want to make sure, and I don't want you to necessarily share the exact number that you're incentivizing people, but I would like to know your logic around why you incentivize a new loan officer to do 20 TCAs. Like, how do you justify that, and how do you ROI that?
It's free. When paying them to do it, if they get one loan, and they're going to get more than one, typically they're going to get more than one loan. When you do the math on it, I'll tell you what I'm paying them. I'm paying them $500 if they deliver 20. It's free. The $500 is free. If they're going to get deals, right? They're going to get deals. They're going to get confidence. They're going to get in front of a real estate agent. You know, if they're contacting real estate agents, because that's the other thing. When you contact a homeowner, you know, one of the scripting is, hey, who'd you buy your house from? Would you use them again? Can I call them and use your name? Now I've got an introduction. It's not a cold call to a real estate agent anymore. It's a warmed up call, right? And by the way, we have a mutual client, and I'm going to send you what I sent them. So now I'm delivering a total cost analysis to a real estate professional. At the end of the day, the goal for me is to get them confident, because a confident loan officer becomes a much better loan officer, because they know what they're talking about. When you're new, you know you don't know. I always say this, you know you don't know everything, but I promise you, you know more than your client. And you got to start acting like that. And you're not going to act like that. And that's what Mortgage Coach gives you confidence. That's one of the things I like about it so much. It gives a loan officer confidence, because they know what they sound like, they know what they're talking, because the report delivers that.
So I want you guys to think about this, because one, I think mortgage companies, leaders need to get good at bringing new blood into the business. What is it worth to you to have someone you brought in from outside of the business, you made them successful, and they're closing 50 to 100 loans a year? Like, what is that person worth to you? And then also think about how much more likely are you to retain that person if you brought them in, you trained them, and they did it, versus someone that, you know what, they're already closing 50 to 100 loans and you recruited them. Who is more likely to be sticky and loyal to your business? Probably the one that you trained. And so what's that person worth to you? And then I want you to think about it. The faster you can get them, and remember, he's not giving them money to do every 20 TCAs. He's giving them a bonus. He's saying every 20 TCAs in a 30-day period. So that means they had 20 plus conversations and they had a quality thing. That's worth something. That's worth something every single month. Now, I'm not going to advocate for Dave, you know, like, oh, that's the right price, because I think that's a pretty bold investment. But it's worth recognizing, it's worth incentivizing. And I want to remind you guys, this is one of the reasons why we built this Mortgage Coach Black Belt program, is so that the loan officer is being rewarded as they achieve new belt levels, and management is aware of that. If you are a Mortgage Coach Enterprise client, we have a mobile scorecard. If you don't know, if you're with an enterprise and you don't know about the mobile scorecard, email support or go into chat and say, hey, how do I use my branch manager mobile scorecard? But we help you, see how many loans, and it's real time on a day-to-day basis, are your loan officers doing. Dave, this belt system, is this part of your training? Are you introducing this into the training program and like giving them a roadmap that, hey, I want every loan officer to be a black belt, and here's the path?
For sure. And the belt system was the motivation kind of behind, because there's another bonus if they hit 300, if they get to 300 if they hit 300 in 20 months, there's another bonus. And it's not like I won't, there's an incentive to do it a little bit slower, but just not as good. And the goal is to get them, again, that's the whole point. You already said it. It's like they get more confidence and they gain expertise, they gain knowledge, they gain eyeballs. I mean, when they're, again, I keep thinking about what it's like to be a brand new loan officer, and you spend that's why so, this is the Zenith Elite Sales Training Academy is what I've been developing for it's been over a year now. It's been a little longer than a year. And that's where all of this came in. And when you introduced the belt system, I was like, this is perfect. How do I get these guys to do this quicker? And because I know what a difference that can make. And we've had a lot of success with it.
Love it. So let's cover a few other things that you think are important, and they may be mortgage coach related. Let's before we go off mortgage coach, I just want to make sure I've got your playbook for how you upgrade your team. You start in the 30th day. By the 60th day, they're trained. You're using our content on our YouTube channel.
The initial training, they're not trained. The training goes on. It's a 1-year training program. So
no, but I mean total cost analysis trained.
Yeah. The first 60 days is, the first 30 days is it's all Zenix, and that's actually the first 3 weeks. And then the next 4 weeks is all systems and Zenix. And mortgage coach, we introduced mortgage coach right away, like right at the end of that third week of training, we introduced mortgage coach, and we teach them how to build it, that they then build the mortgage coach total cost analysis and show the customer the mortgage total cost analysis first, the mortgage coach total cost analysis, because I want the total cost analysis to nail it too. So I want my loan officers delivering a dead on accurate total cost analysis that the customer is going to, like, what I'm showing you is what you're going to get when you close it. And then, so at the end of the end of the 60th day, they get on the phone because they've got a list of 300 people to contact. We've uploaded that list into the CRM, and they begin to make calls. They've graded, they've ranked there's a 3-level ranking of the people on that list. You don't know 300 people intimately, right? The majority of the list is like the 50 to 75 people on there you feel confident are going to do business with you. The next group is, I think they will. And the last group is, I'm not sure they will, but I know them. Like, that's the list, right? And you begin to make contact with people on that list. And then again, the training doesn't end at 60 or 90 days. You don't know this business in 60 or 90 days. We have ongoing training that lasts an entire year. And every time you get another opportunity, but the biggest thing is the loan officer's building a total cost analysis. And before he shows it to the customer, we review it with them and make sure they're like, yeah, okay, you got it. Go ahead and show it to them, right? We teach them how to quote. We teach them how to, and you know what you learn? You learn, does it make sense for this customer to refinance or not? Because you said your mortgage goes back to the mortgage why. Your goal isn't to just close a deal. Your goal is to help a customer and make sure you tell the customer. When I first got into business, some of the companies that I worked for, they weren't very customer focused. And so it was really loan officer focused and talk people into doing a loan no matter what. And I was like, well, but if it's not good for them, why would they do it? And, I guess I was weird at that company. And so it's really, you got to take care of your customer, and then they become customers for life, right? Like, you do a good job for a customer, they're your customer forever. So that's what we teach. That's the whole point of a CRM. That's the whole point of the total cost analysis is we're building lifelong customer relationships. And that's what we teach the loan officers here.
So I want to keep this conversation going, and I want to do another interview on this, but I want to get some closing thoughts. And I also want to make sure we book in this with, what are your expectations for the first year in the mortgage business? How many loans do you think a loan officer can do from 0 to their first year? And then what's a wow? Like, what's a minimum requirement? And then what's on your way to becoming the next Giuseppe?
Well, and I've got a lot of, Giuseppe is like a unicorn riding.
Okay, so not the next Giuseppe, but
it's a leprechaun riding. What I say about Giuseppe is a leprechaun riding a unicorn, but 600 deals, but with not a huge team. Like, this isn't like a 20-person team. This is like 4 people. But what I expect is that, and to be honest, when I started this training platform, I said, my goal is for you to be closing 100, be on 100 loan a year pace at the end of your 3rd year of selling. And so that was my goal when I originally started it. We just had one of the first candidates finish his first 12 months of selling, and he could be on that pace in the next 6 months. So within a year and a half, 100 loan a year pace within his first year and a half in the business. And so my goal would be, you're on a 50 loan a year pace at the end of your first year, 75 loans your second year, 100 your third. But what I think, Dave, is that it can be faster than that, but I'm still, proving the concept. So as we've just launched this program and our first person through it, because this is difficult to scale at first until you've built out an entire platform, and that's what we're doing. But I'm super thrilled with the guy being had closed. The first guy through it, he closed 28 transactions, mostly purchases in his first 12 months in the business, and selling. And then, but he's closing 6 and 7 loans a month right now, and has only been selling just right at a year. So, and again, primarily purchase focused model. So I think it could be faster, but that's what I would expect.
Yeah. And guys, notice he said purchase focus. So it's a sustainable model. I do know loan officers, and I interviewed a few loan officers last year that closed 100 in their first year, but it was a lot of refi business. And so I think those numbers are exceptional. I do want to remind folks some resources in the mortgage coach community. So first of all, we're all about helping you go from fee worksheet, status quo loan officer, not the fastest way to become a confident loan officer, to mortgage coach, deliver a total cost analysis. I do want to call out our YouTube channel, extremely valuable resource for you guys. I would get your loan officers in our Facebook group so that they have that as a place to learn. They should be listening to the Dan Rawich market update every day in our rate watch. We do have a playlist exclusively for new loan officers. And then I think Dave probably leverages this getting started with our advice engine. Yep. We also custom tailor playlists. So if it's an enterprise client, we'll custom tailor a playlist of both our content that we created for the general public, and we'll even make some videos that are very specific to your CRM, your point of sale, how you use Mortgage Coach, the philosophies that you have. So if you're an enterprise client, we'll help tailor a new loan officer playlist just for you. David, anything else you want to call out? Any closing thoughts you have?
No, just like I said, I'm committed to building out a platform that is really a training platform for new loan officers. And it's not just brand new loan officers. I mean, loan officers been in the business a year or two and still kind of maybe, so we built, it's for that as well. Our industry our industry doesn't do two things very well. It doesn't train people very well, number one, in my opinion. Number two, it doesn't, I can't remember what I was going to say, but it doesn't train people very well, and it doesn't focus on developing new talent. And it's an amazing career opportunity that this business is. And so committing to this platform long-term, it's why we developed the Zenith Elite Sales Training Academy. It's, if I can call it out, zenithelite.com is the website where we talk about what the training platform is. And that's it. That's what we're looking for, is the ability to really, if you're committed to this business and you want to learn it at that level, you can do it. You have to go and get it, or align yourself with somebody who's really going to take you under their wing and give you that, because it's an amazing, amazing. When I did about an hour-and-a-half interview, just Casey Cunningham and I, talking to her about developing new talent last year before I did this. And we talked about how it's such an amazing career opportunity. The industry does a poor job of promoting itself. And, it's life, David, we say this all the time, man, it's life-changing to be in this business. If you get in on the sales side, even if you're not on the sales side, it's a life-changing business on the operations side as well. But I mean, truly the ability to create an unbelievable level of not just income opportunity, but man, job satisfaction. I sold a lot of things in my life, Dave. I sold crazy things before I got in the mortgage business. It's the first product I ever sold where I was really proud of what I was, like, truly proud of what I was doing and how I was helping people. And man, that's a cool business to be in. It's just a cool business to be in. I love being in it. I meet people like you. I mean, it's just been, I've had so much help in the industry of 20 plus years of doing this. It's been phenomenal. And I love sharing that with people, and love going on. I say this all the time. I love going along for the ride with Giuseppe and Chris and Jack and Kate, all these new people that we're bringing in. It's the best. I just love the business, man.
Well, it glows off of you, brother. Hey, any other technology that you're using to either help train your loan officers, or that is important for them to adopt within the first 90 days?
Well, mortgage coach, you know what it comes down to is you got to master your technology in this business, and you got to have that commitment. You got to master your technology. You got to master your guidelines. You got to master the business. And again, this is a business where you can earn 300,000, 400,000. That's an incredible income level. And I always ask new people, so how good should you be at your career to make that kind of money? And the answer is you should be pretty damn good. And so commit to being a student of the business. And as far as technology that we use, mortgage coaches are
you using any learning management or anything to deploy your training to folks?
Well, we use a couple things. Microsoft Stream is where we have all of our, we do a lot of recorded training. We run a couple of training video classes a week. We do every Tuesday for everybody. We do every Friday for the newer people. And then on top of the other training that everybody's going through.
So is that Microsoft Teams that you're using?
Microsoft Stream.
Okay.
I don't use it, but the people we load, that's where we load our stuff. CRM, obviously your CRM is everything in your business. So you got to have a CRM, you've got to have a database. So and learning, it's not just having it. I see lots of people that have it, they don't really leverage it. They don't leverage those tools. The same thing with any of these tools, you've got to learn to master them. If you have a point of sale system, we're a Flowify, we use Flowify and we use Encompass for our LOS. You got to master those tools, man. That's again, how good should you be at your profession to earn that income? Pretty good. And so commit, and the opportunity is amazing. And I say this about the industry. You have to work hard at every job you get if you want to keep it and you want to get ahead. The difference in this business is you get to write your own paycheck. And in those businesses, you got to hope you get promoted. You got to hope you get it. You know what I'm saying? So an amazing business opportunity. And so it's worth pursuing.
Right on, brother. Well, appreciate your time, guys. This is a topic I'm passionate about. I interviewed multiple new loan officers last year in 2020. First time in the history of Mortgage Coach where I had 2 first-year loan officers or new loan officers that made the top 10 most viewed interviews of the year. I have a feeling 2021 we'll have a lot more new blood killing it, and I'll be doing a lot more interviews. If you are a new loan officer and you're in your first couple of years and you are either hitting 100 loans a year or you're trending, I would like to interview you. Again, you got to be a mortgage coach. You either need to be you got to be a black belt. If you are brand new and you're at brown belt level and you're trending to become a black belt in your first year, which I absolutely believe is possible. I think I get why Dave is making that a 15-month standard versus a 12-month standard, but I'm going to continue to advocate, like, guys, there's no reason a loan officer with the script that Dave gave you early in the conversation can't do 300 TCAs in their first year. Dave Gallegos, bro, thank you for your transparency. Thank you for always innovating with Mortgage Coach. Appreciate you, my brother.
Yeah, it's good seeing you, man. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos. And remember, guys, if you got value from this, give it a like, share it with your mortgage friends, especially share it with those new loan officers.